Hey loves, it's Britt, and in this video I wanted to talk about some of the current transits that are happening right now because you guys liked my last video on the current transits, even though I said I don't really do transits. Maybe I'm just gonna start doing them. So I really wanted to do this video yesterday actually, but I got busy with clients and then Halloween stuff with my son. But what I thought was so interesting is that we have a Pisces moon on Halloween, which is like the most mediumistic or the most spiritually connected potentially. So I thought, oh, what a perfect time to have the moon in Pisces, the sun in Scorpio, such a watery emphasis. And right now, today's November 1st, 2025. And we've still got the moon in Pisces. And actually, right now, as I'm doing this video, the moon is conjunct to the north node in Pisces. So there's this real Piscean emphasis right now in the sky. The moon is also going to move over and be conjunct to Saturn and Neptune, also in Pisces later today. So we've really got this very ethereal, this very spiritual energy going on. It's going to be hard to translate this into words. We're also, almost at a Mercury retrograde happening, pretty quick here. So we're in that phase where Mercury is still going to retrograde into this position, so it can already be starting to feel a little bit like Mercury retrograde-ish, although I'm not one of those astrologers that really gets too freaked out about Mercury retrograde. I'm actually launching a brand new course. Well, actually, it's not a brand new course because the course originally came to me in the summer of 2018, so that's how I can get away with doing it during Mercury retrograde. But yeah, I'm not someone that freaks out about Mercury retrograde, but it is just a time to kind of go a little bit slower and, check all the details and recognize that things from the past, people from the past, ideas from the past are going to come back to you now for completion, for resolution. But yeah, I think with today, all the Pisces emphasis, the Neptune emphasis, it may be hard to have super direct, flowy communication today, but I will try my best. Yeah, we really have a strong water emphasis in the sky right now, and I probably will put that in the title of this video because there is such a water dominance right now that I think that a lot of us are going to be feeling very waterlogged, really in our feels. It might be a little bit hard to ground. We don't have any earth at all in the sky right now other than the south node, which I did say on my last video. I think the south node is such a strong energy in the chart or in a natal chart that if that is the only placement in an element, I actually think that it corrects the imbalance, almost like another sun or another moon. I'm sure probably some of you disagree with that, but so we do have that Virgo south node, trying and scrambling to kind of ground things and make order of the chaos, which could potentially be adding to the stress of the amount of water, because the Virgo south node is frantically trying to organize, trying to make sense of all of this that's going on. And it really can't be made sense through logic alone with these planets right now. The moon conjunct the north node in Pisces, Saturn and Neptune conjunct in Pisces. We're not going to get some logical understanding right now. It has to come from higher, it has to come from soul or spirit. So potentially right now, you're going to see a lot of confusion and people unsure, uneasy, really in their feelings, probably some depressed feelings. And then also the opposite. I think that right now, there is still this grand water trine in the sky. There's going to be really a potential for connecting to extremely high frequencies of bliss and joy and manifestation energies when we really tap into the emotional body and what the emotional body really feels right now, which is ultimately one of the higher aspects of Jupiter and Cancer also is feeling it all, giving yourself the nurturance, giving yourself the love and care to really allow yourself to feel what is actually going on with you. And when you feel it, you heal it. And that is going to be necessary right now for such a water emphasis in the sky. We must feel. It's unavoidable to feel all that is within to be felt, right? And like the sooner you can do that and allow that to come through, the sooner you can process it or purge it and then move on into higher frequencies, you know? So that's kind of a theme right now. Another big theme right now with the current transits is Venus. So Venus is in her strong sign of Libra. She loves to be there, you know, very pleasing, very socially conscious, very, blessed with charm and tact and beauty. And I do think there's actually kind of a nice energy for relationships just having Venus transit through Libra. She is going to go into Scorpio this next week though, so enjoy this while we have it, but it might also be a little bit hard to enjoy because right now she is moving into an opposition to Chiron. And if you guys see me looking over there, my laptop with the current transits is right there, while my laptop that is a little bit better quality for the video is right here. So I'm talking to you guys here, but I'm looking at the transits there. So that's why I'm doing that. That's why I'm looking over there. So yeah, Venus is moving into an opposition with Chiron in Aries right now. You know, it's so interesting. Just a random side note. Many of the mentors that I've worked with, like as healers or as coaches, like people that have helped me in my life, have the Venus Chiron opposition or the square. So I think there's a real magical like healer quality to people that have a Venus Chiron aspect. I have the quincunx in my natal chart also. And I do think that Venus Chiron in general brings deep lessons and wounding to do with love and to do with relating to the outside world, to other people. And there can be, you know, like a little bit of social anxiety or, relationships that are confusing or unorthodox or, you know, heartbreak. Venus Chiron, the ultimate like energy and wound is like love is pain, right? So that's the belief program. That's like what we want to release from our consciousness when we're having a Venus Chiron aspect in our natal chart. But in the transits right now, I think it's a collective opportunity to remove those beliefs. Like, does love really have to be pain, right? Does relating to other people really have to be this sore spot or this anxiety? You know, something I find that may be related to my Venus Chiron opposition, or sorry, I don't have the opposition, I have the quincunx, is like this energy of service, but almost like an anxious service. Like I'm so conscious of like doing my best and like being the most kind, loving person that I can be all the time. And if I ever don't measure up to that, I feel quite hard on myself about it. So, you know, where can you kind of lessen your load and like be kinder to yourself, because there could potentially be some self-criticism or some heartache related stuff or love wounds coming up right now. Now this is further emphasized by the fact that Venus and Chiron are also squaring Jupiter. So Jupiter squares are generally more easygoing and chill. Like even Jupiter squares are good. If you touch Jupiter in any way, it's usually actually favorable for the person. But in this case, I think that the Jupiter square to this could actually be, because Jupiter's in water, Jupiter is in this very emotional sign, Cancer, right? It could actually be making this heart wound or this love life stuff that's coming up even more difficult or bigger, right? So expect this weekend and like for the next few days, and this has already been happening for a few days leading up to this, people are tender right now. People are especially hurt, like easily hurt or tender, or they also could be a little bit insecure, like financially with these harsh aspects to Venus. It could be kind of like, you know, wounds around like having enough or being enough, you know, self-worth and finances kind of things. But then with Jupiter aspecting in a square like this, it could also be a massive breakthrough to do with these areas, because that's the thing about the square aspect is like the frustration, the tension of a square actually leads to a faster breakthrough in some cases than like the easier aspects. So like that's how you got to think about squares. That's how you got to think about oppositions, is like these are creative aspects. So right now there is a lot of creativity with all the water emphasis, the Pisces emphasis, the Grand Trine in water still active, and then these squares to Venus, which is our planet that does represent personal creativity. So we've got a lot of energy right now, and not even, to mention we're leading up to the full moon in Taurus, which, other astrologers are saying, I don't actually know too much about this like aspect of it, like how it's actually like the brightest moon or whatever. Like, I don't know. I don't really study the actual sky. I just look at my charts on my on my programs. I'm not like with my telescope, although I do have a telescope. I should start looking up there. But I do Western astrology, so it's not actually like the constellations, right? It's just like the positions of the planets based on like the seasons, right? Anyway, so apparently, according to other astrologers, it's like this bright moon, right? And it's like very close to the Earth. But also, too, I think when we're leading up to a Taurus full moon and the sun is in Scorpio, the Taurus moon is actually a more chill moon, in my opinion, because the moon is exalted in Taurus. It's kind of a grounded moon, but with the Taurus Scorpio axis, right, we've got two of the most stubborn signs. So I find that people can be especially like immovable or rigid at this time. There could be a lot of sensuality. When we're dealing with Taurus Scorpio, we've got these horny sex freaks, so crack myself up sometimes. But yeah, so expect people to be very in the senses, very intense right now. Although I do think with the full moon in Taurus, it's actually a lesser emotional moon, like than some of the other signs, right? Like the water moons, although we do have the sun in Scorpio, I think it manifests with a level of intensity, but it's also a more grounded intensity, in my opinion. So it's actually very good for like material security issues coming up for resolution and stuff like that. So we are leading into this full moon as well, which, even though it's an earth moon, like I'm saying, it does heighten the energies. It does make things even more creative. Of course, the full moon and even like the quarter moons, right? Like the sun square moon, like these are very creative times. And, the best thing to do during these kind of moon phases is like the output of personal creativity. Like I was like dying to do this video. I didn't have time yesterday, and I was like, I just cannot wait to get on my video and just do some talking. Like this is my creativity, you guys, right? So, or one aspect of it. So yeah, we're leading into that. We've got the Venus T-square. It's actually a T-square, like with Venus opposing Chiron and squaring Jupiter. So those relationship issues are up. And the thing with Chiron too, you guys, is like Chiron can really feel heavy. It can really feel like, this is almost like a Saturn-y, although it's different, but it's similar to like that Saturn feeling of like karmic fatedness. So, we're also in this lead up to the Mercury retrograde, the full moon. Like, I do think karmic stuff could be happening right now for a lot of people, like karmic people. It doesn't have to be bad. When I say karmic, I don't mean bad, but yeah, it definitely seems like kind of a karmic time for relationships and self-worth, love life, money, financial issues, of course, leading up to the Taurus full moon. Taurus rules over money and material resources and the body. So interesting stuff. Yeah. The other thing, Venus is going to also be quincunx or in conjunct to Saturn, and then right before she moves into Scorpio, which is going to add up a whole other bunch of aspects. Actually, Venus will be quincunx to Uranus then, and also Neptune. So that's actually a yod. Okay, so yeah, this is a super karmic week for relationships. So first off, like right now, because I am speaking about right now specifically, and then of course a little bit later into the week and stuff too, but Venus is quincunx Saturn. So that can also, with Libra to Pisces, there can be a bit of confusion or a bit of like, yeah, being vaguely hard on yourself. Maybe things don't come out right as far as when you're like expressing your love to someone, or you're having a slight relationship issue. The thing with the quincunx is it can feel kind of like impossible. So maybe there's like a relationship situation or a financial situation that feels like impossible, and that could be showing up with the quincunx. And then also, though, too, I think it further emphasizes what we have going on with Venus right now, which is a lot of aspects to Venus. So there could be some big breakthroughs in love, or realizations about past loves, or realizations about karmic relationships or situations, or like a self-worth block that's been really holding you back. I think you could potentially like break through right now. And then, yeah, it's going to become even more karmic later in the week when I think Venus goes into Scorpio, I think late Thursday. So this yod with Venus, and it's also going to be square to Pluto. And oh my goodness, when Venus goes into Scorpio, or right before it does, there's going to be a lot of energy there also. So I would like be open to this week, especially with the full moon in Taurus, which wants comfort above all else. It's like, be open to being uncomfortable, because the ruler of the moon is making some crazy tense aspects. So I would just be like, be open to the discomfort and recognize that the discomfort is what leads to the most growth. And that's really what we're right now, is like a creative, growth-oriented period. I want to come back to the fact that Jupiter is trine Saturn. This is a really favorable aspect for making your dreams a reality. So with all this crap going on, we have these planets that represent, I feel like Jupiter and Saturn in a trine is one of the most favorable aspects for like outer success, and like, yeah, bringing something that's just an idea into tangible reality, right? Like, this is like, if we can get past the laziness of it, which I think we can with all the squares in the sky right now, if we can get past that, we can really create some awesome stuff right now. And have that feeling because of this grand water trine as well. Mars is trine to Neptune, and you could still even really count it trine to Jupiter as well. Like we've got this grand water trine. The moon is joining it tonight, so it was significant. I did this video today. With like the higher side of this watery energy, you could get in the flow, right? So there's two aspects. There's like the aspect where like you're stuck and you're waterlogged and you're like drowning in all this emotion, and it's like, why? And you're like in despair. So there's that. That's very valuable also for like an emotional purge, right? We're not saying one's better than the other. But the other aspect of it is like getting in the flow, and you're in the right place at the right time, saying the right thing to the right person, and you're in alignment with your destiny. And with the North Node in Pisces, it's all about being in the flow. You can't get there through the mind. You have to get there through the emotional body and the spirit. Okay. And with Mars going into the final degree of Scorpio this week too, yeah, we could talk about that for a second too. So Mars does really well in Scorpio. We've got this strong Mars right now. It's so productive. It's so active. It's so passionate and feisty. It's coming into the final degrees of Scorpio. I have my Pluto at 29 degrees of Scorpio, so I know about this energy well. It's a degree of death, of like, you have to let everything go to be reborn into the new self that you're meant to be. And it's a degree that holds a lot of anxiety and a lot of weight and a lot of stress. But when you get to the good side of it, it also holds a lot of power, because the 29th degree is the degree of wisdom. Now, when we're having Mars going to be trining Neptune, both at 29 degrees, this is a spiritually powerful time where you can really bring dreams into reality. This is another indicator of that. And also magic. Like, you have the magic touch. You have the golden touch right now with Mars trine to Neptune. Mars trine to Neptune is very favorable for acting with ego, but like in the right way, because there's like the right amount of ego, right? Where it's like you can actually get stuff done and, get your spiritual work in order and out there. And so I think, yeah, people could really have the magic touch right now. Mars will go into Sag later this week. That's going to feel awesome. Well, I love fire signs, so I'm like, woohoo, I've got a fire dominant chart. So I'm like, yeah, Mars and Sagittarius. That'll feel lighter. That'll feel more fun, potentially more active. It is going to oppose Uranus right away. So it's another emphasis on like, expect the unexpected. And then it'll also sextile Pluto, which is another power aspect. So yeah, this is a really powerful time. I think like a really good thing to do right now is anything to ground, right? We don't have a lot of earth in the sky other than the south node, which isn't really helping because it's trying to like mentalize this or, logicalize this. Those aren't even words, I don't think. But yeah, so there's not a lot of earth. Go hug a tree, go ground, do some yoga, get in a sauna, those kind of things. But then also use your creative power right now. This is a very heightened creative time. Allow yourself to fully dream it. Dream your life the way that you wish it could be. Once you're done the emotional purging process, that's first. But then really dream it and also take the action steps to make that dream a reality. So, yeah. And yeah, as far as Mercury being in like the shadow part, and going to be going retrograde too soon, maybe those ideas from the past, right? Or maybe like people from the past are going to come in. What if that was all perfect? What if that was all a part of like the divine timing right now? Because we do have a karmic closure theme with the Saturn, Neptune, and Pisces, and the North Node in Pisces, and the moon there now too. What if that was all perfect? What if you didn't have to go so many steps ahead, right? Like, what if you were just tending to these karmic situations that need to be closed out? That is perfect for this time as well. So yeah, I think that's all that I'll say today. If you guys are interested in my brand new astrology course, it's called Soul Astrology. Well, I guess it's not brand new, but it's brand new in the sense that I've revitalized it and I'm ready to offer it to the world. You can send me a message or send me an email for the early bird details. It's like a super early launch right now. It's called Soul Astrology. It's not going to be a basics astrology course. It's going to be more of a meditative experience where we're going to go through each of the planets and the natal chart, and we're going to really like feel into the energies of each planet and like activate the higher aspect of the energy. And of course, we'll also go through like each of the sign placements and the house placements, although it'll be mostly like just meditating on the energies of each planet. And like each training is going to also contain a healing meditation. As you guys know, I'm like an energy healer, so it's going to be very different, I think, than any other kind of astrology course, in the sense that it will also be like, yeah, a healing course. And anyways, we're not going to start for a little bit, but I'm just slowly releasing it like early bird. So if you're curious, you can send me an email, brittanysastrology@gmail.com, or send me a message on IG or Facebook or whatever, and I can get you those details. Anyways, that's all for today. Well, maybe I'll do more videos today if I get a chance because of all this creative energy. Anyways, I love you guys. I'd love to hear your thoughts on like what's going on right now with the transits, and I'll be back soon to do this. I think I'll just keep doing this. It's fun. So anyways, talk soon. Bye.